Welcome back to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. All right, we've got Luke Lechner, Inform Athletics CEO, here on the show with us. Luke, welcome to the show.
Hi, Michael. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
My pleasure. I'm glad to have you here. All right, Luke, give us some background on you, and then let's get into what Inform Athletics does. This is interesting stuff here.
Yeah. So some background on myself. I'm currently a senior at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, studying communication and on entrepreneurship and business. I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, and family of six. And for the last 17 years, I've been a competitive swimmer. I went on to actually compete and swim at UNC, Chapel Hill, and swimming is kind of in my DNA. All of my family members we're all swimmers. So I've always had a passion for athletics and competition since a very young age. And obviously, like you mentioned, with Inform Athletics, I've always been an entrepreneurial-minded. And, so that's a little background on myself.
Tell me what Inform Athletics does.
So Inform Athletics is a college athletic recruiting software that allows a high school student athlete to fill out one questionnaire and send it to any college that they want at the same time. So our slogan is the common application for college athletics, just simplifying and streamlining how high school athletes reach out to college coaches.
Is this a subscription model? How does that work? Because high school students, they're not really big on large purchases on their own. So how does this work? I mean, are you doing it as something that just helps people, or is there a revenue model in here that takes them from high school into college and then helps that transition?
Yeah, so there is a revenue model, and I definitely agree with your statement on high school athletes, or not athletes in particular, but high school is not wanting to make a big payment, and that's actually another problem that we're solving. So there are solutions currently in this industry that charge an athlete up to $3,000. So since the beginning and inception of Inform Athletics, I've wanted to keep it free for the athletes. So our revenue model and our go-to-market strategy is to private high schools. So the athletic department of that high school will pay a annual subscription for their student body to utilize the tool. So it's the high school athletes not individually paying for it.
Okay, I get it. So you market your product to the different high schools. Their athletic departments comes up, and they're the subscribers because they're helping their students, and it's better for them if they go on and become successful, and then they turn around and say thanks for the help in the beginning, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's great, great marketing and publicity for the high school. The more athletes that they have going on to the college level, it's just great for.
What's your market? What's your market right now? Your market penetration right now? Where are you?
So we are actually pre-revenue. We're launching in 1 month, starting in North Carolina, in the Triangle area in particular. I actually cannot announce the exact schools that we're starting with, but we're in talks with three private high schools in the area, starting in January.
What's the reception? What I mean, I wanted to understand the barrier to the next step, because this is a good idea. There's a lot of schools, there's a lot of people out there, and there's some investors that are listening to the show right now going, okay, what's in it for me? How do I get in on this, and how does it scale?
Yeah, so scaling is we're going to be starting off penetrating the private high school market, and from our, getting feedback from these athletic directors across the country. They are on board and literally no negative feedback on that. So beyond private high schools, we want to scale to public high schools. At the beginning, we actually were going to start with public high schools, but with their budgets and yearly monetary limitations, it's harder to kind of get into their sales cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start with private, and then once we have build up our reputation and streamline our software, then we'll start getting in the doors of public schools. An opportunity in there is marketing and targeting towards booster clubs. So if that public high school cannot afford it, then the booster club or can afford it as well. Also targeting towards individual athletic clubs, organizations like the YMCA. I swam for the YMCA.
I can see like years. School districts being a good client. Go ahead, Ed.
Luke. I have a little different, take on this. I have a high school senior right now, and I went to a high school where we had anywhere from 14 to 15 Division I athletes on an annual basis, to put it lightly. And it's interesting as you look at this. The two natural questions come up. One, obviously, you have rivals and Huddle out there that kind of do something similar. They don't necessarily do the application part, but who decides which universities these applications go to, and how do you streamline the recruiting process for those who are using it?
Yeah, so the student athlete is the one deciding. So currently, with like you mentioned, Huddle and NCSA and other companies, they don't give much guidance to what school would be the best fit for them and also, we're targeting towards not the top 1%. Elite athletes. We're targeting towards the other 8 million high school athletes that are under the impression that they don't have a chance of competing at the college level. So,
but before you go on, do you have I guess going forward from a revenue standpoint, do you foresee a quote unquote premium product that allows you to showcase certain athletes that are part of that non 1%, but actually are better than the previous 98%?
Yeah. So, the software itself is two-sided. So the college coaches, once the athlete filters through our database of over 1,500 universities based on only display universities with tuition under this or in this range, with my GPA.
Luke,
I don't want to be
Luke. I hate to interrupt you, but we're at the end of our show today. I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. Now, real quick, contact information for you.
Yeah, so LinkedIn, my name is Luke Lechner, Lechner. Email is luke@informathletics.com. And, just shoot me an email or connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'd love to talk more. I appreciate you having me on the show today.
My pleasure, Luke. Thanks for being here. All right, you've been listening to CEO Money with Michael Yorba, Ed Baxter, segment brought to you by Lots of Yachts. We'll be back tomorrow with more great content just for you.